All right, everyone. So going ahead and getting into the game preview for this game, it is interesting. So we look at the point spread. It is at 6.5 points, about 6 on average there, which to me just right away seems to be like a little bit of a mistake in the line. And we're going to have to kind of look at the alike opponents that they have played, which is obviously not the best way to do this. But thinking about it, you had the Giants go up against the Cowboys in a game that was a toss-up in terms of who would win, and then you also last week had the Chiefs go against the Eagles, and I actually think the Eagles really outplayed the Chiefs more than what the score showed us there. I did expect the Eagles to win in that game, but I felt like they could have won by more than what they did there. And then obviously the Dallas Cowboys played the Eagles, and they probably should have beat the Eagles in that game there as well. I shouldn't say that. The Cowboys should have at least had the lead in the fourth quarter, late into the fourth quarter. Eagles probably do end up scoring late in that game, and the Cowboys probably still end up losing that game. But the point is, we look at the alike opponents and the alike matchups that they've had thus far, and it's fascinating that this is a 6.5 point spread. I know that the Giants lost against the Washington Commanders in a pretty bad way. There were some plays that they left on the table in that game, and I think we saw a course correction last week for that. So to me, I do think that this is a game in which should be closer than especially the 6.5 points that we are getting on some of these sites, and I would be fine betting the under there. Game total wise as well, it does feel a little bit, a little high, but I understand it. Like, the Chiefs are more of a time of possession team right now, but the Giants, if they're going to be successful in this game, are halfly going to score touchdowns, probably. So, I don't know. I'm staying away from the game total. Money line wise, I don't think we're betting on that, but I do think the spread, 6.5 points, is a decent edge there in terms of bet. But that really sets the stage for some of the props that we are going to be on in this game. And so with that, guys, let's go ahead and jump on into my top prop bets for this game. Now, I do want to start off with calling out that PrizePicks currently has a free square available for Patrick Mahomes. Guys, if you guys have never signed up before, take advantage of that. Use the promo code 9TO5. They'll give you guys $50 when you spend your first $5. So take advantage of that. Link to that's in the description below. But as always, take advantage of those free squares when they're available. Obviously, if you've already signed up for PrizePicks, take advantage of that free square. But to me, this is somewhat of a simple slate. I think we have 3 really good prop bets that we are getting, and then the rest we could potentially force in. So I don't necessarily want to bet on Patrick Mahomes for his over pass yards, really. He has, I don't want to say struggled, but because that paints a picture of like, oh, he's played like Caleb Williams or Tua Tagovailoa. No, he's not struggled in that sense. He's struggled like more in the sense of the famous Aaron Rodgers quote where, a down year for me is a career year for other quarterbacks. That's kind of how Patrick Mahomes is struggling right now, where he's still playing great, but in terms of how we view Patrick Mahomes, he's looked bad. And he's just missing some throws that he shouldn't miss. He's looking to rush the football a little bit more and missing some open receivers. You can't really blame him because he's down his top 2 receivers, but I think this line is correct. But I will say, if he is unable to get his over 230 passing yards, that will be because someone like Pacheco or Kareem Hunt gets going. And this is the issue with this slate as well. We have 4 running backs that are all certainly in play. You had Tyrone Tracy and Cam Scadaboo split the work last week, okay? And neither of them really had success. You had Scadaboo break one long rush attempt in that game, but neither of them really had a lot of room to run that game, and that's kind of something I expect again. So I could see myself just betting on like both of them to struggle in this game, and that's a low rush total there though as well. You could also do the same thing with Kareem Hunt and Pacheco as well, where Pacheco saw 60% of the snaps last week, but was just not efficient, okay? And then you look at Kareem Hunt, who I do think this game being a 6.5 point spread, even though I don't think that's the best spread, we're going to place bets based off of that, based off of Vegas being correct, and I think there's a chance where if the game is a game in which the Chiefs are playing with the lead, then we're going to see Kareem Hunt actually get more work later on in the game. Could be wrong about that. Pacheco could just be the grinder, but that is an interesting thought. So to me, we're staying away from all those. And if we're betting on Patrick Mahomes, I actually think one of the better routes to go is going to be with his rush attempts or rush yards. Okay, so his rush attempts is at 5. I think that's okay. He is pulling the football a bunch and rushing with it because he has to. He doesn't trust his receivers. And so I don't mind this one as well. If you want to get to that, you can, but it does feel like we're forcing a little bit. And so then we go ahead and get to Russell Wilson with his passing yards. I don't hate this one. Like, I think it's fine. I would be betting on the over, but again, that does feel like we're forcing it a little bit there as well. So we go ahead and jump on into who I think is giving us the best lines for the game, and that's going to be Tyquan Thornton. Whether that's his over receiving yards, okay, I'm fine with that. Okay. He ended up playing 80% of the snaps last week, as well as, basically in week 1 as well. 5 targets last week. Should have had a big game in week 1. Mahomes missed him. And then last week as well, Mahomes missed him a few times, but finally connected as well. He was able to score a touchdown in that game. That's the thing. He is open down the field. His air yards are great as well. His longest reception, I'd want to bet the over. His receiving yards, I would want to bet the over as well. We got to remember, in week 1, guys, Hollywood Brown was heavily involved in that game, and it was a little bit of a head scratcher. Like, you would have thought maybe Travis Kelce, given the fact that Xavier Worthy got injured earlier in that game, you would have thought it'd be a little bit of Travis Kelce. Maybe Thornton would have got a little bit more work as well. To me, he's actually a closer swap to like Xavier Worthy, but they ended up putting Hollywood Brown in that Xavier Worthy role in week 1 because they had a game plan around using Xavier Worthy. And so they just put Hollywood Brown in there. And so week 2, we saw a much different game plan. And so I think we're going to see much more of a balanced passing game between Thornton, Hollywood Brown, Travis Kelce for that matter as well. So to me, the fact that we're getting a big difference in the lines for like Hollywood Brown and Tyquan Thornton, to me is crazy. Okay. I like basically all the overs for Thornton. Now it is worth calling out that on the underdog, they have his line at 28.5 for his rushing receiving yards. He hasn't been used on an end around at all. And that's always a little bit risky because, obviously can end up in a negative play. But I don't mind that idea as well as betting on that instead. But really, I think all the bets that we're getting for him are correct. Now we go ahead and take a peek at Hollywood Brown. Given the points I just laid out, I would almost argue they're a little bit too high. At the same time, I don't think we're really getting an edge with them. There's no point of really betting on him then in my eyes. Okay, so just not going to be betting on him. And then we go ahead and get into the Giants receiver, Wendell Robinson. So he has played, in terms of his role, the exact same as what he did last year. Okay, so he's getting heavy targets. And again, his role just hasn't changed. This is a game where they are 6.5, 6 point dogs in this game. And so it should be a pass heavy script. He should still get some of those easy receptions as well. I think he has a great chance to get over 4.5 receptions, which is kind of the standard line out there. If you want to bet on him 5 here for PrizePicks, knowing that has a decent chance to be a push, you can. But I like betting on him over 4.5 receptions a little bit more today. But that seems like a pretty good bet for us in this game. Whereas you compare it to like Middle League Neighbors, his lines are just correct is the best way to describe it. Like, I don't feel like betting on them either way. And so then we got to talk about Theo Johnson, who honestly, guys, to me in week 1, I thought his production was strange because he didn't have much of it. Again, that Giants offense just did not look good. Whereas if we look at the amount of snaps he's playing and the targets you would expect him to get, he's playing like 80% of the snaps. What he did in week 2 was much more in line with what I would have expected. So if you're playing on PrizePicks, you're kind of forced into betting on his over 23.5 receiving yards because I don't want to bet on his over 1.5 receptions on PrizePicks as it being a goblin. I will say it does feel like there's going to be a tight end touchdown here for the Giants. Maybe that ends up being him. I say that because like last week or Thursday night, Buffalo Bills, they had like Jackson Hawes score a touchdown where obviously it was a play designed for a tight end to score. That's kind of how I feel about Theo Johnson, where I think he has a better chance to score a touchdown this game. But I also just think a Giants tight end is going to be the one that scores a touchdown, if that makes sense. So better off just going with his receiving yards or receptions. And so, guys, we're going to go ahead now and get into the 9 to 5 bet of the day. Before we do that, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel there as well. Again, if you guys are looking to bet on PrizePicks for the first time, make sure to use that promo code in the description below. You can also sign up for Underdog, Sleeper, and Better. I have affiliate links to all those below. Make sure to use those. That's just, they do kick back money my way when you guys use those to sign up for the first time. So it's a simple and easy way to help out the channel. All right, let's go ahead now and get into that bet of the day. 3 slip bet, guys. Nothing too crazy. Just recapping the bets I just called out to you guys. Theo Johnson over 2.5 receptions. And then again, I'm okay with taking a slight payout decrease to get Wendell Robinson over 4.5 receptions. If you guys don't want to do that, bet that on PrizePicks instead. I'm showing you guys the slip for Underdog here. And then Thornton for over 28.5 rush receiving yards. I like that one a little bit better on Underdog, but again, you could do longest reception. You could just do receiving yards as well. Perfectly fine with them. I kind of wish we could bet on his air yards, to be honest with you. That'd be the way to go. But that's going to do it for this video, guys. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. If you guys would like access to the 9 to 5 PrizePicks and Underdog cheat sheets or optimizers to place better bets for each slate, head on over there. I didn't show you guys that for this video. Well, simply because I thought these 3 were pretty straightforward, but also figured if you guys want to view those, you guys can just sign up for the $10 membership there as well. I'll be placing any plus EV bets that we are getting using the tools, but these 3 obviously are more geared towards more traditional sportsbook bets there as well. Now, if the tools are telling us these are 3 good bets as well, obviously we go on those a little bit more. Okay, that's going to do it though, guys. Thanks for watching. Good luck. And as always, let's keep cashing.